Update. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom that my sister was a better mother than her? Original post. I, 17, was born when my sister Ari was already 18. She stayed at home till I was 10 doing her university and master's. So my parents obviously spoiled me because I was the miracle boy. But I always remember it was Ari who taught me to be polite, chew with my mouth closed, how to clean even, be nice and all this stuff like that. It was so much better when she'd make food than my mom. I remember when I was 9, she and her boyfriend, husband now, took me to the park. Someone asked if I was her son, and she said close enough. And when I asked later what she meant, she said I was their practice baby. But when she left and she's like stayed gone. I've seen her so few times since. Like there was her wedding, my other sister's wedding, and functions like that. Point is, in those 10 years, she kept me from being the spoiled brat my mom and dad were definitely turning me into. So even if she didn't want to see me in the last 7 years, I'm still grateful. So university applications are being filled out and I want to do software engineer at Waterloo. My mom wants me to stay local. Yesterday, it turned into a big family Zoom meeting where Ari was involved. She said if staying with family was an issue, her family was moving to Kitchener. And her husband heard, and he piped up saying he'd loved it if I could stay with them. I thought that was cool, because I'd finally get to see them again and meet my niece. But my mom said, no, you're not going. So I got really mad and asked why not. She said you're not going to need your mother when you start university. That made me angrier. And I said, before Ari left, she was a better mom to me than you anyway. That didn't go well since my mom ran to her room to cry. So I couldn't see. My dad said I was ungrateful and my sister, not Ari, told me to stop being an a-hole. So, I don't know. Edit for anyone confused. Kitchener is a city right next to Waterloo. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not a-hole. I'm going to guess that your sister is keeping her distance for reasons that have nothing to do with you and everything to do with your parents. I would recommend some damage control. Apologize to your mom, but make it clear to her that the decision about where to go for university should not be based on a boy needing his mother, but about what is best for you and your education. You are going to be legally an adult after all. This would totally be the vibe I got too, if not for the park thing though. Like, okay, maybe telling a stranger close enough when asking if Opie's her kid I can kind of see, but then telling Opie that they're her practice baby is kinda off. I could be totally off base, but I get the feeling there's also some other stuff going on Opie isn't aware of, where their mom may have reasons to not favor the arrangement either. Don't get me wrong, the mom's immediate "you'll need your mom" comment isn't great either. But I just don't think Opie has the full picture of the overall dynamic. It's not unheard of for a baby from a teenage parent to be passed off as a younger sibling instead. I'm not saying that's what happened here, but the age gap would be right. And it would explain both Ari's comment and his mom's reaction. It's unlikely nowadays, but not impossible. Famous example, Jack Nicholson's older sister was actually his biological mother, and his mother was actually his grandmother. He had no idea about this until the 70s after both women were dead. Just saw this. It is not what's happened here. I've seen photos of my mom pregnant with me and have seen the video they took after I was born. No a-holes here. Call Ari in private and talk this out. Sounds like she, 1, knows how your parents can be, and 2, can help you figure out what to do. Sounds like you should plan on going to her place for uni. The mother is very much an a-hole here for trying to take away a wonderful opportunity for Opie for completely stupid, non-valid reasons. And now for the update. So, I've gotten a lot of DMs. So I'm updating because people seem to be really worried. Pretty much when mom came to my room to talk to me about what I said, I'd already decided I was going to apologize. You guys made it clear I needed to do that much. She asked if I meant what I said about Ari being a better mom than her or if I just said it to hurt her. It is true. I said it was because I was upset she doesn't want me to go, so I just said that and apologized. We hugged and she said we'd talk about it later. What I said to my mom did work its way through my sisters. It went from Isla to Sarah and from Sarah to Ari. I got a FaceTime from Ari where she reminded me she taught me it was wrong to lose my temper like that, but with mom she gets it. She seemed proud when I said I apologized. I wanted to say thanks for all she did for me, but it felt wrong over FaceTime. She did tell me she's planning on having the whole family over to her new house in Kitchener after they move for my niece's birthday. She made it clear if I get into Waterloo, I'm staying with her or coming over as much as I can. Now here's where it gets wacky. My mom's cousin, who was like the head of that side of the family, found out what happened. He wasn't on the Zoom because he's really busy. He found out and scolded my mom and went on about how great a school Waterloo is, and how selfishly she's holding me back and how she's trying to keep me as her baby forever. Isla eavesdropped on the whole thing and told me everything our uncle said to mom. Honestly, it makes me wonder if things between Ari and me is what my mom and him. So, my mom told me she was wrong about Waterloo and I had her support to stay with Ari. She told me her permission means I have to call her every night, text good morning every morning, no partying, no girlfriends, be a good uncle and treat Ari with respect. And I got into Waterloo's engineering, and we went to Ari's new home for my niece's birthday party and spring break in March. I try to tell Ari and her husband how I feel and how thankful I am for how Ari raised me, but I blubbered and couldn't say anything, and she just pulled me in and hugged me and kissed me on the forehead like non-stop for minutes while kinda crying. They gave me such a tight hug and said I'd always be their first son. My brother-in-law took me to Waterloo and it's so cool. My niece's birthday party was also great. She's so cute. I told Ari I'd be willing to babysit, but she strictly told me my only priority would be my studies. When we left, Ari gave me a huge hug and said she couldn't wait for me to come. So thank you guys for all your support and advice. That's great that you are pursuing what you want and reconnecting with your sister, but your mother's demands are ridiculous. Coming from parents very similar, I'd advise you play along now, but start making boundaries when you go to college. Soon you will be an adult. You will have a job and responsibilities that may not allow for constant communication with your mother. You may make meaningful and/or romantic connections with other people you'll want to pursue. That is natural. Your parents won't handle it well, but as time goes on, it should get easier. I wish you the best. Sounds like my mother. I haven't heard from you in weeks. Call logs say I spoke to you 2 days ago. My dad gets on the phone yelling about how they pay for my phone and I shut him down with, "Nope, I'm paying my own money to be an aunt's plan." He sputtered and hung up and nobody bothered me the rest of finals. Lol. And then there's my mom who said that one call or visit every 2 or 3 weeks is enough when I ask her if she would like to talk more often. That is all well and good, but your mom's demands are still crazy. As someone whose parents gave them similar demands, I completely agree. It's near impossible to maintain and completely unrealistic to expect. No drinking, partying, or girlfriends, and you have to text every morning and call every night? That's insane in the most overbearing way possible. Next story is titled, "Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law to parent her child and kicking her out when she fails?" I, 32 female, and my husband, 34 male, are child-free. We also work from home on a regular basis, and both our jobs involve doing a lot of meetings and talking. We have a 3-bedroom house where one of the rooms is used as a guest room while another is made as an office. If we have meetings at the same time, one of us just hops on the laptop and goes to a different room or living room. The bedrooms are located on the top floor while the kitchen, dining, and living room are on the bottom floor. My sister-in-law had some repairs done to her house. She has arranged to stay with someone else, but it fell through, so she asked if she can stay in our house during the day with her kids, 10 female and 6 male. I think their school is currently closed due to COVID outbreak there, but not sure. Me and my husband explained that both of us work from home most of the time and we will not be able to take the time off to watch her or her kids. She promised they will behave. Yesterday, my husband was asked to come to the office, so I was alone with my sister-in-law and her children. It was their first day out of 2 weeks of repairs. I was getting ready for my meeting when I hear a screeching sound. I initially thought that the kids are watching TV and might have turned it on too loud, so I've asked them to turn it down and start the meeting. The sound didn't stop and people in the meeting could hear it, and it was making them uncomfortable. I have tried moving to different rooms, but it was still loud, so I had to leave the meeting and come downstairs to see what the sound is. Turns out my sister-in-law's youngest is throwing a tantrum and she's just sitting there not doing anything. I have politely asked her if she can calm down her child, as the noises make me uncomfortable and interfere with my job. She says, okay, and I go back to my home office hoping to rejoin the meeting. However, the sound didn't stop, and in fact, it became worse. The kid has started banging on the floor. I calm down again and tell my sister-in-law to parent her child and stop this behavior as I'm trying to work, or they have to leave. She was trying to get into an argument, but I have said I had enough, and she must leave now and is no longer welcome to stay for the 14 days she originally planned. When my husband returned, he agreed with me. However, we have already received calls from his parents calling me an a-hole for kicking them out. Am I the a-hole? Edit. I gave my sister-in-law plenty of time to calm down the kid and she could take him outside to the garden or the car, but she chose not to. The child is not autistic or have any issues as my sister-in-law claims. The entire reason for the tantrum was because the child was not allowed to play in our console as we don't have any games appropriate for his age. He is known to break stuff, and the game he wanted to play is a horror adult game. Edit 2. To clarify the above and reword it, sister-in-law claims the kid is not autistic or have any mental illnesses or issues that can cause such behavior. In no way or form I have intended it to sound as if the kid has autism, and I don't believe the sister-in-law. And also, their house is available to stay at. Only one room is being renovated. Their bedrooms, bathroom, and kitchen are still available to use. She just wanted to stay with someone else during daytime as she's not fond of the builders and doesn't like the noise they make, as the builders are there from about 9 to 6. After, she has no issues returning home and staying there. Now for the top comments. Not stay home because while controlling a tantrum is not always possible, taking your kid outside or to the car is. Exactly what I was gonna say. When I was nannying and one of the parents were working from home, I was mindful enough that if a tantrum was occurring, a swift, come on, let's get your shoes on and go for a walk. How about if we can find some ladybird/and/etc. He loved insects. Even if he was still tantrum zone outside, it then stopped pretty quickly. Yep, I have ushered many kids out of many rooms at houses for various reasons over my years as a nanny. Tantrums, excited playing. I even had to shuffle one kid out of the room while her father argued with someone over a bill belonging to his recently deceased wife. Insisted? I just picked them up and physically moved them. Little people having big feelings can't always do two things at once. Not stay home. Since your in-laws are so upset over this, it sounds like your sister-in-law and kids should go stay with them. That's why they're upset. Haha. Not stay home. Looks like we now know why the other plans fell through. Your sister-in-law is probably so used to her poorly mannered kids she doesn't even notice anymore. The fact that she just sat there without addressing the noise is gutsy. Worst case, she just doesn't care. Best case, she was trying to ride out the tantrum. Which is fair, but you can take your kids somewhere to scream and flail where it doesn't interfere with your gracious host's work. Outside, for example. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mother she's no longer allowed around my daughters? My mother, female 46, and I, female 24, have never had a best relationship, but it's never been bad per se. For about a month now, every time my daughters, female 5, female 3, female 1-year-old and 8 month, come home from her house, my oldest has asked some weird questions. Here are some of the things my 5-year-old said to me. 1. Mama, do you think I look like a boy? 2. Mama, do you love sisters' names more than me? 3. Mama, do you hate Nana? When I asked why she asked, these were her answers. 1. Nana said blue is for boys. 2. You spend the most time with them. And 3. Because you never let youngest sister go with us. She's not even 3 months old yet. Another thing she said one day was, Mama, I want to stay with you. When I reassured her that she was staying with me and asked her what she meant, she said that Nana said she was going to be our new mommy. When I confronted her about these things and the new mommy thing, she said that my daughter must have misunderstood something and claimed she was telling them she was going to be a new mommy. Was gonna get a puppy. And my daughter must have thought she was saying that she was going to be their new mommy. I asked her to watch what she says around my kids and reminded her that little ears are always listening. I picked them up today and my daughter said, Mama, do you think we're fat? I asked her why she asked me that. Nana said you must be trying to get us to lose weight. I called my mom and asked her WTF that meant. Them girls are always hungry when they come over my house. You don't feed them enough. No, dumbass. They have no limitations and a lot more options at your house. That's why they like it. Then I was fixing lunch and she asked me if they take away kids like her. I asked her what she meant. She elaborated with kids that go to church, which means poor kids. I told her that the church is there to help people and nobody will ever take her away from me. She told me that my mom was telling her that she was going to have to take care of them when they got taken away. I asked her if Nana said why they'd get taken away. She said Nana said they take girls for mommies that need help to take care of them. I texted my mom and told her because of all these things, she is no longer allowed around my girls. I don't want no contact with her either. She called me a few times and when I didn't answer, sent me 9 messages telling me that I was taking it the wrong way. My daughter is blowing it out of proportion and begging me not to do this to her. She left me 3 voicemails crying about how I took her babies from her and she doesn't deserve this. My aunt and younger siblings are consequently angry with me regarding my decision and have definitely made their feelings known. Lots of nasty messages. I have been writing all of this information down in case I need it in the future. Not stay home. Make sure that she isn't allowed to pick up your kids from school or other places. And screenshot those texts and save those voicemails, preferably on a different device than your phone just in case. You need to do a lot more. Make an appointment with CPS and document these incidents with the dates and specifics. She's already tipped her hand to having a plan to take your kids, using the system to do it. Get over to just know mother-in-law and follow the advice. I have been documenting these incidents. I didn't really know what else I could do about it, so thank you. I will post there and I will be letting CPS know. Please, please, please do it ASAP. Your mother's behavior is incredibly alarming. How do I even go about that? Do I just call CPS and tell them these things? Sorry if I seem ignorant to it. I've never had to deal with CPS for my kids or really anything like this before. You're not ignorant. Most good, healthy parents have no idea how to deal with CPS. Because if you have happy, healthy children, why would you? Contacting CPS usually means there's a pretty nasty issue that no one should have to deal with. But alas, there are twat waffles out there who necessitate the need for such services. And then good people have to figure out how to navigate complicated legal systems.